I love Secret Rings. I really do. But I think it's quite easy to tell it was rushed. There are a plethora of flaws with this game, such as its gameplay, but there's also some good things, like its graphics. For a Wii game, they've aged pretty well. But if Sonic Team decided to go back and remake Secret Rings, what would it be like? How'd they do it? Well, today I'll be discussing what I'd personally love to see in a Secret Rings remake. As we all know, the game is made up of several different components, such as art, music, gameplay, and etc. So each part gets their own section. Alright, let's begin.
Give up permission.
This segment is going to be the shortest since there really isn't much I have to change about the aesthetic. Like I said before, the graphics look good and have really just aged well. But I would just like the second screen to be reworked into something unique and just appealing. Because the screen we have is really boring, it's just a slider. Besides that, I guess all I can say is more book and fire imagery and maybe just upscaling the textures. Secret Rings has a killer soundtrack. Every level theme hits, and the progression from upbeat and fun with the first few levels like Sand Oasis and Dinosaur Jungle. I say around Pirate Storms when the game starts to lose that upbeatness and becomes more jittery, which fits for what's happening in the story. So these themes do deserve a great remix. I would love for these to be a collaborative effort by Jun Sonoe and Tomoya Otani. Maybe even add Kellen Quinn in there. However, the music also deserves way more themes, way more original themes. I think all of us are aware by now, but one of the biggest problems everybody's had with Secret Rings is the overuse of 7 rings in hand. Didn't matter where you were, this thing would be blasting in your ears. It's the menu theme, results theme, main theme, and the final boss theme all at once. So it's safe to say the theme gets dry and old very quickly, which is why Secret Rings shouldn't just have remixes, but also new compositions to tone down the repetitiveness of 7 rings in hand. Other than that, music in the game is an underrated classic. Like I said before, Secret Rings has some great stages, and I'd love to see more paths for each stage to really expand the environment. Secret Rings also has some really great concept art, but some of it just isn't fully utilized at all. I mean, just look how cool these all are. They really should be realized in a remake. I think expansion can also be done by adding quote-unquote acts to each world as a part of the main mission. You only really get to play Secret Rings as normal Sonic once per world, which is really go for the goal, and that's really it. If Sonic Team were able to hit the mark, then maybe add like 2 more acts, and then a boss for each world to really expand playtime. I think the way the world rings are organized feel very rushed way of a scavenger hunt. They're scattered all over different missions, but this makes the structure of the game feel very inconsistent. Sometimes you get a ring from the bosses, sometimes you get them from a random side mission. It's just really all over the place. I like the scavenger hunt idea they were going for, considering they're called the Secret Rings by the game's title. Since they are essentially this world's chaos emeralds, let's just complete it with the special stage like areas. Maybe these could be taking place in the Lost Prologue, but are accessed by the stages because Lost Prologue never had much purpose in my opinion. Maybe by getting these rings in Lost Prologue, we restore it to its former glory, since we know that when Sonic enters the Lost Prologue, it's pretty much a mess. Secret Rings has very few bosses, only about 5 bosses out of its 8 or so stages, with most of them just being auto-runners, in an already auto-runner game. In my opinion, these environments are way too unique to not have a fun and engaging boss. Just imagine a giant skeleton monster you'd fight in Skeleton Dome's arena, maybe having to climb its body and attack its weak point. Or maybe that T-Rex in Dinosaur Jungle, what if we actually fought it in that huge arena was in. And so much more. There's a lot of potential for the bosses of this game. This is by far the most important part. You can already see from Secret Rings itself how bad controls can make the game feel worse. It shouldn't be essentially mandatory to grind out levels just for good skills, just for the stage to feel fun. When Secret Rings feels fast and fun, that's when it's at its best. The way they handle it should maybe be similar to Unleash. In that game, you start with no stat upgrades or moveset upgrades. However, you can still enjoy the game in a natural way. The upgrades are mandatory for later stages, but take Windmill Isle Act 2 for example. You can still get the S rank easily, but upgrades only add to the stage's fun. This is not the case in Secret Rings. You are so painfully slow that it's literally impossible to get a gold medal, the S rank equivalent. So they should take a page out of Unleashed Daytime Sonic. Sonic always feel good to play from the start. Things like speed break and time break and the other skill can come later. But for base Sonic, you should feel fast, responsive, and just have a good feeling in general. I do love that the characters we all know and love get an entirely unique design and a new personality in these worlds of the Arabian Nights. Well, except Sonic, of course. But I feel like we could add more characters. Maybe every stage offers a new character. I'm thinking Amy for Dinosaur Jungle, Blaze for Evil Foundry, and Shadow for a Skeleton Dome. Obviously, more characters to add, those are only 3 out of 8, but maybe these characters could be involved in the story as well. Maybe those side missions we have in the base game can have actual purpose, or the character focus as a side story. As a designer of worlds, I can imagine Amy as a caretaker, because of her passion for animal life. Maybe Blaze as a princess of Evil Foundry, since the sage is basically a mechanical castle, but with lava. And maybe Shadow could be mirroring his story in SA2 with the death of a loved one, this minus all the amnesia. Speaking of story, that leads us to the next part. This game's story honestly doesn't need that much changing. Just that now that we have more characters, maybe their side stories could be, well, more important. These characters can also contribute to the game's post-credits scene. Maybe if you get all the missions, you get a more complete ending, but without it, you get a, well, semi-bad ending. Also, we have the crests should be plot relevant. Maybe for Crest of Wind, you do Trials of Speed, since those bonuses are speed focused. Crest of Fire gets you combat, because, well, the Crest of Fire is combat focused. And then the same thing applies to the Crest of Darkness. Finishing each one gives you that respective crest, and all of them should offer a good challenge. The most controversial part, though, is probably the ending of the original Secret Rings. It does feel a little rushed in my opinion. I don't think handkerchiefs would be the best object for a symbolic theme. I think Charm and Sonic's friendship and promises should be the theme of the game, honestly. Let me make Sonic and Razor Jet a contrast in a good way. Sonic is kind to his friends. He puts his faith and his trust in them. But Razor will manipulate and abuse them, even those that are closest for his own personal gain. It might sound corny, but if it's delivered in an impactful way, it could be great writing. Think about Unleashed or Sonic Battle. And that is how I'd remake Sonic and the Secret Rings. I have so many ideas because of conceptually there's a vast amount of potential for Secret Rings. Again, the concept art, title designs, and all that really show how passionate and creative Sonic people were on this game. As for why I want Secret Rings specifically to be remade, well, Kishimoto was the game designer, and it was basically his first time on board, though don't take that to heart because I could be wrong. And Frontiers and its updates just prove how passionate the current Sonic team can get. And there's also plenty of resurgence of attention for secret rings lately these past few days. In fact, I even asked Kishimoto if he would be interested in remaking secret rings in Sonic and the Black Knight, and well, he saw it because he liked it. Anyways, I'll see you all some other time. Ciao.